Hello, I'm Reverend Teresa Crabtree, and I'm the creator of the SoulCleanse, which is a powerful method of releasing entities and non-beneficial energies. And I'd like to share with you today something that happened to me a few weeks ago because I believe it'll help a lot of you. It kind of blew me, and I love this line of work. You never know what you're going to learn and how it's going to come in, and it's not always easy, and sometimes it's downright scary. So here's what happened with me. I'll be frank with you, okay? I have relationship problems. Anybody else in the audience? And for me, I've been hurt a lot, and there's always been this, I won't let anybody get close enough to me. And I've been working through these relationship issues for decades, to tell you the truth. I've been single for over 20 some years, and I've rarely dated for well over a decade. So it's been an interesting experience. Anyway, I have to get past my stuff. And so I'm reading this book, and it came across something that he said, and the author said, and it kind of put a little light bulb in my head, and I thought, ooh, I'm going to try this. And so what I did, I went into meditation before I went to bed, and I said, okay, I'm ready. I said, I know there's still something there. There's still something that's holding me back. What is it? And I'm ready to release it. And so before I went to bed, I set that intention. I said, I want to clear whatever this is. So help me to clear whatever this is. And tried to go into meditation, and nothing would come. And so I drifted off to sleep. And that happens a lot for me. And in the middle of the night, or when I first awake in the morning, that's when the answers and things start to happen. Well, in this case, I drifted off to sleep, and it's not uncommon in my line of work for when I'm clearing somebody's entities for them, they're not too happy, so they come and they attack me. And I have a lot of protection, so as soon as I recognize, and they come in my sleep, and as soon as I recognize what's happening, take care of that annoyance, which is usually an annoyance. But this one was different. I woke up, it woke me up, it startled me so much, and I was just in this, I had this black heavy mass all around me. I was like in a cocoon, and this mass was just, it was alive and breathing and swirling, and it had me totally inside. I was totally inside of it, and I started to go into fear. Now, one thing I know in my work, I cannot go into fear, so I had to immediately calm myself down. And I said, get it off of me, get it off of me. And we started to pull, I called in my guides, and they're starting to pull it off. And I could feel the energy, like these are my feet. I could feel the energy kind of pulling this way, but it got up to about my knees, and I realized it was screaming. It was screaming like, it was like kicking and fighting back, and it was saying like, no, no, she put me here. I'm here to protect her. She told me to. She made me. This is my job. I'm supposed to. And I'm like, it's like, wait a minute, this is like never happened before. So I kind of like stopped the scene for a minute. I said, whoa, what is going on? And then I realized that energy around me wasn't like the other ones. Usually what happens to me is I'll have an energy that I feel come in, and it'll usually try to cozy up to me, or it'll try to make me go into fear or some kind of something. And but this one I realized, wait a minute, this one didn't come from outside me. This one was already there. And it's been there for a long time. It never showed me. This has been there for a long time, and it had been built on and built on until it became strong. I had created this energy field around me to keep me from getting hurt from people who love me. And that's like, whoa, now this thing is still kicking and screaming while I'm coming to this revelation. I'm like, well, maybe I should keep it because it's been doing a good job. And it was like, no, this hit me. Well, this was my prayer before going to bed. I wanted to have this energy, whatever it was, released. It blew me away. And then I just had to have a little bit of a conversation with it, and I kind of felt sorry for it. You know, I had energized this thing for so long in other lifetimes and this lifetime. Every time I got hurt by a family member, by a boyfriend, by a girlfriend, by anybody, I had energized this thing that was supposed to be protecting me from getting hurt. Now, it obviously didn't work because I was still getting hurt. I said, oh, I see what it is now. We definitely have to get rid of this thing. But it was like it was alive, and it's like, am I murdering it? Am I killing it? And that's what the book was talking about. It was talking about how we create these energy fields around us, and we put so much energy into them, and that it becomes somewhat conscious. It's not sentient like it knows and can create things like we're creators. It's not like that. But it has a job. And this one had the job of protecting me. And that's what it was trying to do. So I was like, oh wow, what he was talking about, this was my prayer, and here it is, it's happening. But I was like, I felt sorry for her because it was screaming, it was yelling, it was like it was alive, and I was being shown, no it's not, it's a belief form that I have created and energized through the years. And yes, it had to go. It had to be dissipated. And no, it's not murder. It's just transforming of energy. So I said, okay, so how do I do this? Now remember, this energy is now like around my knees all the way through my head. And it's the whole time it's still kicking and screaming. She made me. She made me. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. No, no, no. It's like, it was wild. And so then I said, well, you have to go. You have to go. So I just told it, I said, I appreciate what you did, and I understand what you did, and I understand that I created you and why I created you. And I said, but I created you out of fear and not out of love. And I want to be all love. And I want you to be all love too. So we're going to change all this energy now into love. And I felt that movement going now. It was pulling off of me. Still, and it was kicking and screaming for a while, but by the time it got around to my chest and I'm throwing these thoughts at it, it started to calm down. I was telling it to calm down, and I said, you're going to be all right. I said, you're just energy. Energy doesn't die. So in essence, you aren't dying. You're just going to be remolded, and you're going to be changed, and it's going to be great. You're going to be love now, and then you can come back to me as love, and then you can help energize love and help me to love people more. And I said, how does that sound? You know, and it was kind of like, it doesn't really think. So I didn't need to talk to it at all. I just had to make the conscious choice. As soon as I made the conscious choice, and I said, okay, you got to go. And I'm having this weird conversation that didn't need to be. But, you know, hey, it's the first time experience, but I'm learning. And it's like, as soon as it got off of me, and I was saying that you're going to be all right and all that kind of stuff, but then I told my guys, yes, transform it, please. I said, I don't want anybody else to experience that or have that, and I don't want it back. So let's transform it, and from that dark energy, that fear-based energy, into love-based energy. And immediately it was dissolved. And my reaction experience was like a lot of you experience when you let go of something. Just like it was like, whew, it's like this heavy weight was off, and it was like my whole energy field just felt like 100 pounds was taken off of it or more. I didn't feel constricted like I have been, and it's gone. It is just immediately gone. So I wanted to share that with you because it's so important. We really need to understand that we create with our thoughts. We create with our words. We create with our actions. We create from what our beliefs are. And so many of our beliefs are just, they're misguided. They're not even the truth because they were started either in another lifetime or in this lifetime and have been built on by fear, by pain, that things that have happened to us. Those are what I call unresolved emotional traumas. If we don't resolve those traumas, we need to look at them from a different perspective and stop looking at them from fear and look at them from a love base. And sometimes we need to understand the person behind who did the pain to us so that we can say, oh, well, they did that because they had their own pain, and their father had that pain, and their mother had that pain. So it's breaking that cycle of pain and changing it into love and understanding. And then we can have compassion for the other person. And then we can release it from ourselves. And if you could forgive that person and forgive yourself too, because a lot of times the initial core problem, we might have been sexually, physically, mentally, emotionally abused, that problem was real. And when you were really little, you couldn't do anything about it. You didn't have the maturity to deal with any of that. It just became a belief that this is how it is and this is how it's always going to be. But when you can look at it from an adult perspective now and go back and talk to that inner child and say, hey, this is how it was, and this is why we created that self, those energies, but we don't need them anymore. So let's release them. So I really hope that you take time to go within and look at your beliefs and where they were then and where they are now, and release that and these emotional traumas that you have that are manifesting physically as well, and already creating emotional imbalance in your mental fields as well as your emotional fields, to start releasing that so that you can start living more from a love based. And that we have to die to the world. And it doesn't mean a physical death. Jesus talked about that in the Bible, that we had to die to ourselves. And that's what he was talking about. You didn't have to go on a cross and die. We have to let go of these energies that we have created, these little selves that are in us, that are around us, that we created. We have to let those go so that we can ascend, because those are all of a lower vibration. And they're showing me the ascension like a ladder. If you're going up the ladder, it's all a vibration. So if you want to raise up, you can only go so far if you still got all this baggage down here, because you can't go any higher than what this vibration is. So when you let go of those lower vibration, those selves that aren't serving you anymore, then it's like, whew, okay, now I can go higher. And it's step by step. The ascension process is step by step. You've got to let stuff go. You got to integrate it. You got to take time. You got to let go of the old fears. Bring in new beliefs. Bring in more love, more compassion, more kindness for yourself and for others. That will raise your vibration. And gratitude. Never forget gratitude. And then you can raise your vibration. And once you integrate it, and your body also has to change at that time. A lot of us talk about the ascension process and how it affects your body, and that's what's happening, because once you get to this frequency and you go up one more notch, your body, physical body, has to adjust to that as well. Your emotions, you have to start looking at things differently. Your mental body, you have to start thinking differently, and you got to look at those beliefs, and then also the physical body. Because if you don't, if you raise up too fast, you're going to have what's called spontaneous combustion. And if you ever looked at that, it's not pretty, because it's like amping up the energy field. If you've got your house electricity and you got it plugged in here, and you start putting in a whole bunch of more electricity on there, it's going to blow the circuits. So you're going to have to amp up and boost your energy field and let everything kind of settle in first. And then when you have an awareness and it's part of your life, then you'll have another aha moment, and it'll bring you up a little higher, and then you do it again. And with each of these, you're going to have some physical symptoms, you're going to have some mental imbalance and emotional imbalance, because you got to kind of rewire everything in your brain and the way you think and the way you act, because now you have a new awareness. It's a lot of work, very much worth it. So I encourage you to look at all the things that your thoughts, words, and actions, where you're spending your attention, with telephone calls, with gossipy people, with books, the music you listen to, the lyrics, and the beat, and all of the social media stuff. If it's not bringing you up, get away from it. Just unplug from it. And if the politics and all that's going on in the world events is getting you from the news and bringing you down and getting you into fear, unplug. It does not have to be your reality. So that's it for today. So thank you, and namaste, and now must go.